Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever it is that you are watching from. I am your host, Salia A. Ducle, and you are watching What Happened Last Week, episode 8, the one that we call the Liberian Mentality. This show or this program is sponsored by Hard Talk and Africa News. And I am going to be welcoming you with a 5 minute introduction until my co host can join me in a short period of time, right? Today, like I said, we are going to be talking about, the Liberian mentality, right? So, this is something that is very, very important. It's a very, very general, topic of discussion. Um, a lot of points to be made, by all the panelists. But yeah, man, like usually, the way we do 5 minute introduction, which is gonna be followed by a 60 minute discussion of the topic, and then that will be followed by a 20 minute closing statement for everyone. So yeah, man, you guys gotta sit tight, buckle up because we are about to, take off. Um, until my co-host can get in here, I'm gonna use the time to share the live into various groups and different timelines so that other people can know that we are on here live. If you are watching, please go ahead and share our live, so that your friends can know that we are on here live. And please address us in the comment section. Ask any question in the comment section, and I promise you, me and my co-host would definitely try to answer any question that you have in stock for us. With that being said, I will take my time right away to start sharing the live into the groups, which will take me about 1 to 2 minutes, and then I'll be done with that, right? In 1 to 2 minutes. With that, let's be listening to the national anthem of the country. Okay? With no further ado, we are already here, my people. If you're already watching, then welcome in, welcome in. My name is Salia A. Once again, I am your host, and you are watching What Happened Last Week, episode number 8, the one that we call the Liberian Mentality. This program is sponsored by both Hard Talk and Africa News. And guys, welcome in once again, welcome in. We have a whole full panels, tonight. Hopefully, if my panelists get to join me, address us in the comment section, ask any question in the comment section. I promise you we will definitely be addressing each and every question there. The question is, what is the Liberian mentality? How, if negatively or maybe positively, has the Liberian mentality affect us as a people, as a country, and what can we do to how they call it to develop the Liberian mentality. right? What can we do? What are some of the things that we can do to develop the Liberian mentality, the mentality of the Liberian people, so that we can have a better, conducive, civilized, progressive, productive society, right? That is the discussion today that we are going to be having. And like I said, very soon, I'll be joined by my co-host, the panelists that will join me to share this topic into pieces, positively, of course. So yeah, Moses Baker says he's watching from Ganta. Hello, big brother Ibrahim Sano, watching from Monrovia. Absolutely. Wilmot, say please add me. Wilmot, I don't, where are you watching from, and where, what do you want to say about the topic? I can definitely get you on the show, but you're gonna have to, tell me more, and then I'll share you a referral link so that you can join the show if you have to. But you gotta convince me that you are, worthy of joining the show. Like you have something, to contribute to the show. Yeah, my big brother, brother Ibrahim Sano, how you doing, big brother? How you doing? Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for joining the show. So yeah, man, that is exactly the question that we are going to be addressing today, the Liberian mentality. Like I said, what has been the impact of the Liberian mentality, and what can we do as a people to develop that mentality? To in a way that it will be useful for us to have a conducive, productive, and progressive society, right? Um, you know, Whenever somebody talks about the Liberian mentality, right? I always, you know, I always think about, because I lived in Liberia, I grew up in Liberia, you know, so everything about the Liberian mentality is something that I've lived, I've experienced, just like a lot of other Liberians. So when they talk about the Liberian mentality, being somebody who was born and raised in Liberia, but has also traveled around, other parts of the world, I know exactly what the Liberian mentality is. And whenever somebody tells me about the Liberian mentality, the first thing that comes to my mind is that, this is a mentality of somebody who is from Liberia, but have never had the opportunity to go outside of the country to other countries. And I'm not talking about even farther country like South Africa, whatever. I'm talking about even to go to Sierra Leone or Guinea or Ivory Coast or Ghana, somewhere close, to spend, a good, period of time there, understanding the way of life, the way of the people in those communities, in those societies, and then come back home. A lot of Liberians have never actually lived Liberia. As a matter of fact, you know, um, we Liberians mostly, we know very little about other countries, especially other countries that are very much in our surroundings, right? Countries like, like the ones that are sharing the border with us. We barely know anything about these countries until we go there, and then we find out how far ahead most of these countries are. And whenever that happens, when we come back home, we have a whole different mentality. We have a whole different way of seeing things. You know, um, I remember when I was growing up, every time we get in an argument, like, not even an argument, but every time, there was a guy, like when we were kids, we were playing football or whatever. Every time there was a guy among us who was from Guinea, and he said something or he did something that we consider as stupid. And when I say we, I mean we, the Liberians, consider as stupid. We will always, talk down on the person while using the name country of Guinea. Oh, that man like Guinea man. That man stupid. That man like Guinea man. That man from Sierra Leone. That man, and how to call it? Hey, God, man. We got some kind of name for, men from Sierra Leone, something like that. Not knowing that the people that you're talking about, the country that you're talking about, you haven't even been there. We just had the prejudice of Guineans being stupid and uncivilized, until we started going to Guinea and finding out how Guinea is actually ahead of Liberia in a lot of different sectors. Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, even Sierra Leone, small little Sierra Leone. The system that is there, right? Now, I'm not here to bash bash my country, say bad things about my country or whatever. But you know, um, I'm here to say the truth. Let's be clear. Let's be truthful. Let's be direct. Let's say what it is. You know, and I think that is definitely number one when it comes to the Liberian mentality. How do we, understand? I mean, like, what is the Liberian mentality? It even reminds me of the song that So Fresh, had, maybe a decade or 2 decades ago, where they talk about a white man, black man, and then Liberian man. There are different type of men in the world. You get the white man, the black man, and the Liberian man. I don't condone that song. I don't think that song is 100% all the way truth, especially the things that the song is saying about a white man. I don't think these are necessarily true, but mostly about the Liberian man, yeah, the song is spot on, 100%. And these are realities that the only way we would deny some of these realities or some of these things is because we don't want to be realistic. We don't want to be true to ourselves. But if you are somebody who is realistic and being true to yourself, you understand that these things that I just lay out, like the Liberian mentality, is a real thing. And one of the main reasons as to why we have the Liberian mentality is because we Liberians don't travel out. We hardly go out of the country. We stay in the country. We hardly even leave Monrovia. We hardly even leave Montserrat, right? So if you don't leave where you are, you feel like the world revolves around you, right? So when you hear about other countries, you just feel like, they are nothing compared to you. I mean, this is all you know. That is one thing, right? That is one big hell of how they call it, a problem. You not being able or not even trying to find out what is beyond the walls, what is beyond the borders, what other people are doing. Like, you are being unaware of what is going on around the world, except for what is happening in Liberia, right? That is the number one, how they call it, cause for the Liberian mentality. There's the number two, which is as equally important as the number one, is the lack of patriotism, right? The lack of patriotism. In Liberia, I think we have very, 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 very few patriots. As a matter of fact, I don't want to I don't want to sound insolent, but I don't think I've ever seen a real 100% complete patriot or patriotic Liberian, right? Patriotism is our problem, right? We have replaced patriotism with partisanship. Everywhere you go in the country, ask a Liberian about whether they love Liberia or not. And I understand things are hard, times are hard. To afford the living, to afford a better living condition is not easy. So to leave somebody in that kind of situation and ask them whether they love Liberia is a very, very, hard question, right? Because they are hungry. They don't even know what they're going to eat tonight or where they're going to sleep. And you're asking them, do you love the country, right? But that does not still, how do you call it, stop me from thinking that we are still lacking patriotism. What are the reasons that we are lacking patriotism? Those are a little bit irrelevant as to why, but the main relevance is what we are, and what we are is not patriotic, right? And this thing has been happening for decades. We all know that the free slaves came and then um, started the country that we know today as Liberia. But then by 1980, we ended the presidency or the rule of the free slaves, and then the natives the natives got into power. And since then up until now, actually nothing have positively really changed, except for the guys that were in power. They were in how do you call it, the guys that were in power, they were, how they call it, free slave, and the ones that are in power now, they are natives. That is all. That is the only difference, right? That is the only difference. That the people that were in power, they were not native, and the ones that are in power now, they are native. That is the only difference. Other than that, nothing really has changed. So back then, when the Congos were in power, there were no patriotism at all. These people, they were taken to the US, as slaves. Their grandparents actually were taken to the US as slaves. They were born in slavery, right? Their parents were born in slavery. They were born in slavery. And, when they got free, they came up with this idea that returning back home is the best idea. Like, let's go back home. And then, we found ourselves a country. And all the things that we have learned from these people, we can actually go there and apply it, which was not bad until they started applying even the bad things, some of the bad things that were done to them when they were in the United States. So you come down to Africa and you establish Liberia, right? Rightfully so. People start leaving other countries and coming into Liberia because Liberia, oh, this is a country and we have a government. These people, they have a way of life we have never seen before because it's the American way of life. All of a sudden, you see people coming from Guinea, Sierra Leone, and other places. They are coming into Liberia because Liberia was, their civilization at the time, right? But what they failed to do was to be inclusive with the rest, with the natives, with everybody else. They refused to be inclusive, right? They refused to be inclusive, and they rule for over 100 years. You rule for over 100 years without sharing power. And when I say power, I'm not even talking about the presidency. I'm talking about in every position, whether the minister this, that, everywhere, in every suitable position and every suitable office, no natives were allowed. Natives were allowed to only take loads from one end, like doing labor jobs, labor work. One of the main reasons that today we have Firestone in Liberia. Why do you think that is? A lot of people keep saying, oh, yo, Firestone, wow. Then, Firestone in Liberia, we got the world's largest rubber farm. Why do you think we have the world's largest rubber farm? You think Firestone in the United States of America, they couldn't find a land to build their rubber on, like the one that in Liberia? You think only Liberia get that land? No. The reason why Firestone brought that, farm into Liberia is mostly because this is the only place where they were being offered cheap labor, where people will work hard and then they pay them almost nothing. But the people will be happy for that almost nothing, right? This is why Firestone came in all the way back in 1926, 25, 26 in Liberia. It was like a huge deal to everybody. So they shortly put, the free slaves, they never, preach patriotism. They were the one that's supposed to set the foundation. They came and they had this idea of governance. We didn't know anything about governing this. We had chiefdoms and kingdoms. We had a way of, governing the society. But their way was different from ours, right? It was the colonialist way. And they came, instead of being inclusive and teaching people how to be patriotic to Liberia, to be nationalistic to Liberia, instead of all of those things, they just, care about the few people, at the top, about 40 to 50,000 people, while the rest of the country suffer for more than 100 years. More than 100 years. So they never teach anybody any type of patriotism whatsoever. They just taught people that when you get at the top, make sure that, nobody know what is going on. Just keep people at the top. This is what they taught for more than 100 years. So when the native got into power from 1980, they have already learned from the free slaves, right? Like, oh yeah, this is how it is supposed to be done. Don't give anything out to anybody whatsoever. We the one that on the top here, that we the one enjoying. This is why people keep saying that elephant meat, when you get there, go eat your own and move from there, right? Now, elephant meat, why are you here? I mean, why are you trying to be the advocate for everybody? You better eat your own and move from there, right? This is where all these sayings come from. So, like I said, the native get into power. We know nothing about patriotism. We know absolutely nothing about patriotism. The only thing we care about is partism. What kind of party you supporting? Are you a blue or you are green? Are you seditious or you are UPS? Which one are you? That's all we know. This is where the liberal mentality comes from. In the 1950s and 60s, when people, African countries were suffering, when African countries were being formed, you know, using their blood and tears and sweat to gain their independence, we were relaxing. We, the Liberian natives, were relaxing. We don't know nothing about any of these things because what the free slaves came and just do their magic tricks and we had a country, but we didn't have a country because the country wasn't for us. The country was for the natives. I mean, I say the native, the free slave. Hence why we have up until today our motto is what? For the love of liberty brought us here. For a native guy like myself, when I read for the love of liberty brought us here, brought me here from where? The love of liberty met me here. I've been here. I've always been here. So the motto alone, you read the motto, it's not about Liberians native. It's about what? The free slave. The people that came from abroad. I'm saying that they are citizens, they are all native, but because they came, before they came from abroad, they were taken abroad. This is their father, their forefathers, their ancestral lands, 100%. But it's not for only them. It's for us too. We the one that never had the chance to leave. We the one, I say the chance, we the one that were fortunate enough not to be part of those that left or that got taken, right? So I'm just saying that this is where our lack of patriotism comes from. If you go to other countries like Guinea, you go to other countries like Sierra Leone, you go to other countries like how do you call it? Um Ghana, Africa, these people, they know what it is like to be patriotic. They know what it is like to be nationalistic, right? Because they suffer for their country. They sweated, they cried, they shed blood for their country. The things that Guinea had to go through to get their independence, in fact, kick the French out, that somewhat delayed their development up until today. Liberia would have given up very easily. So lack of patriotism is a huge reason. Is a huge, you know, reason for what do you call our Liberian mentality today? So quote unquote, the Liberian mentality that we have. I've been joined by one of my panelists, Mr. Kalilu Conan. Brother, how you doing? Welcome in. I think you are muted. You are muted. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Welcome in. Welcome in. How are you doing?
Go, bro. Go, bro. Hello,
Wonderful.
everybody. And thank you for the opportunity once again. I hope everything going good on your side.
Absolutely wonderful. Praise God for everything. Everything is good, and I'm happy that you joined me.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Sorry that I missed the last show.
Right.
But it's a pleasure being here again, and I hope we we have something good to say to our people, which is our responsibility.
Right.
So that's it. Let's get in. Let's do it. I like your topic, and I think we should vent on it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, that is it. That is it. Welcome in again, 100%. Don't worry about it. And we are happy that you were able to make it today. We know that you won't be able to make it every day. We know that for a fact. And you're not the only person. But anytime you have the chance to make it, you are more than welcome, and the pleasure is always ours. Like you may already know, the topic today is about the Liberian mentality, right? The question is very simple. I've already started, you know, uh, um, my monologue, but yeah, so I will give you the opportunity to chip in a little bit. And the question is very simple. Like, what is the Liberian mentality? Where does it come from? And how does it impact us negatively or positively? And what can we do to develop the Liberian mentality? These are all small questions here and there. Just answer it to the best of your ability. Mr. Corner, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. I I honestly would like to say that question is kind of rhetoric because well, mentality is relative, and then applying it to the Liberian populace, I want to say I think I will speak definitely on my experience with people and my personal observation because the way I view the Liberian mentality is in the same way Mohammed is going to view the Liberian mentality. So I think it will differ per person on how you see Liberia or Liberians and their mentality. But I think so far, uh, I don't want this to sound like it is demeaning, but we are still backstage. We are still backward when it comes to mentality. From all sectors of life, we are still backstage. The only one thing I think so far so good is kind of little bit good for us. Little bit good for us is the Liberian man has a giving heart. You know, we can be selfish, but we are not mean. Now, like the only one good thing I see per my experience, per the very few countries I've gone to around here, the only difference I see is that we are free-handed than most of our neighbors, like Guinea and Sierra Leone. We are free-handed than them. But then again, when it comes to loving your country, when it comes to doing your best for your country, when it comes to you know understanding the essence of being a citizen, we are far, 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 far behind. When it comes to a great level of unity, we are not there yet. When it comes to politics and business, I think we are more focused on politics than business. And it is actually affecting us because you you can be the oldest country, the oldest independent country in Africa, and yet you are among the first 10 least developed countries in mentality, in infrastructure, in education, in um person to person relation, you know. So I want to say the question is relative because the fees are too much. When you touch all sectors of life, the only thing I see in Liberia is we can give to each other. You can be broke and somebody can look at you from nowhere and give you. That's one difference I see from like for Liberia and Guinea and Sierra Leone. That's the one difference I see. But other than that, we are so beyond. So yeah, so I first like to touch patriotism. Um, for far so long we've we've understood the Liberian mentality of patriotism is you should only love your country only when she is doing good for you, only when the nation is doing better. As at one point in time, I was in a keke. Ah, that was like 3 years back. Probably a keke or a bus. So I remember an elderly man somewhere around 40 to 45 saying that he's never going to return back to Liberia the day God helps him and he leaves Liberia. I was on a bus. I can't remember because it's been like 3 4 years, but it happened. I can remember specifically it happened to when you reach to Freeport, right to the roundabout to Freeport to before you bend to go to take in town road to go to town. So right there, we started having a conversation. I was like, what? You mean when you are uploading to leave Liberia, you're not coming back? I will have to say in Korokara, I'm not coming back. I gotta be honest with you. What in Liberia? I will live my whole life, bro. What in Liberia? I said, bro, do you know that even if you decide to live abroad, even if you were to born all your children abroad, do you still know that these children will one day judge us? They will still ask us, Dad, Papa, where are you coming from? Where's my country? How is my country? Do you know your child has to find pride in your country? Oh yeah, man, that is from here. He said he doesn't care. All he cares right now is about himself. So I think I'll point out to one, poverty, two, uh our our job cycle where most jobs are given based on relationship, and three, the government lack of giving help to young businesses in Liberia. So all of these things it can tie men down. So people can say normally we say as for Africa as a whole, West Africa as a whole, once you were born into you know a West African land, you are definitely behind life, like far zero. Education you behind, money you behind, infrastructure you behind, um, mindset you behind. You know, when it comes to tribal and religious, ignorance you behind. Because we still fight things that are dead gone. We're not even supposed to be fighting anymore. We should be far above that. Look at Rwanda today. Since the post stop to tribalism, see how far they have gone. But here you say, let me just say this. I was in a bank. I was in a bank on Monday, and someone, one of the tellers said, I will not call the bank name for anonymity six. Say sick. And one of the person in the bank said, "Oh, we really wish we had somebody there, Ibrahim Talawali." So yeah, we really wish we had somebody like Ibrahim Talawali. He's brave. He stands his ground. And I said, yeah, that guy's hard headed. He said, no, he's not hard headed. Let me know what he's doing. I said, yeah, of course. You can be hard headed doesn't mean you're doing the wrong thing. So in fact, when you're hard headed, you know what you're doing. You stand your ground. So I said, but let's leave that. I said, but were you left for like a Mandigoman to become your president or Muslim becoming your president? He said no. I said, well, he said, but Ibrahim Traoré and Mandigoman. He said, no. I said, bro. I said, Ibrahim Traoré. I said, you've ever sat in class with somebody called Traoré? I said, Traoré and Mandigoman. I said, you see, these things are keeping us back. We keep looking for who to become this. Why you have to become this? Because you SYZ trap, you SYZ religion, you from SYZ town. Lev is leaving us behind, bro. The America we present today, it is because the Bronco put all of these things behind them. Rwanda just gave us visa free. They just signed bilateral agreement that there's no more visa between Liberia and Rwanda. The Rwanda today, if you give all Liberians opportunity, Rwanda isn't bread and butter, but if you give all of the opportunity right now, the vast majority of them will decide to land in Rwanda is because Rwanda fought certain things back. So we as Liberians have to understand that we need to put certain things back and start to love each other. Compassion is lacking in this country. Liberia is one of the countries in our surrounding. You go to Ghana, you go to Nigeria, you go to Guinea, you go to Sierra Leone. But Liberia is the only country that lacks compassion. Liberia is one of the countries that has weak men. When I say weak men, we fought war. I feel like we fought war for so long that we become afraid of war, which is good for us. But then again, our adult tolerance on criminals is also so dangerous for us. It brings so much danger to us. You can be in a bar when I stand at the junction, somebody will come and say, yo, bro, yo, man, give me that bag, give me that phone. But you will be standing among 15 men and and one string guy will just come and take your bag and carry it. Nobody can talk about it. Nobody can help you. Nobody can even intervene. And the moment the person leaves, the next thing is, oh, what they got going? What they got going? What they got going? What am I doing for you? Bro, I was in Conakry in 2023 and I was on Tessie. So when I put my phone out to video the street, right? To video record the street. So while doing my video, my friend told me, oh, may I put your phone inside? So because we spoke Madingo, the driver asked why he should put your phone inside. So the man said, before somebody jack and carry. Bro, alright, the driver said, they ain't get a man in Guinea can see somebody who has some yellow and go yellow. He said, they get a man. The next driver will stop him. He will not go anywhere. But in that the next driver getting free will. So on another occasion again, I was at Simako Junction, and one girl bed had just stolen her bag. She was crying, and I want to change money to the guy. He said, "Oh, she was bluffing with her bag." I said, "Bro, her bag?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Her bag?" He said, "Yes." I said, "So you mean she shouldn't bluff with the bag she bought with her own money? So the criminal has right to take her bag from her, while more than 7 young men sitting here." Somebody can have something and hijack it. One get 7 young men sitting here. One person can hijack somebody and go. You say the guy's bluffing. So these are the things when I say we lack compassion because we don't feel sorry for other people. The Liberian mentality is always about if it's not you, it must be me. And if it's not me, it should be you. And that's not life. That should be if it is not me, it should be you. It should be in a circle. My grandma used to tell me, if you don't support your friend to become president, another man friend will become president. If you don't support your friend to become billionaire, another man friend will become billionaire. The honest truth is, why are you trying to bring your friend down? Somebody's trying to put his friend up. You see the Dembele saga? His best friend was crying for him yesterday. Like Dembele best friend, I don't know his name, but that guy best friend just won the Ballon d'Or. And another person somewhere, sitting down somewhere wishing his own best friend shouldn't become anything because he's not in that position. So we have to get out with this mentality and then generally come to loving our country. When you see the entire when you see our entire surrounding, I've not how to call it. I've not actually stayed too long in Sierra Leone, but when you see our surrounding, when you travel outside, you understand that people love their country. People love their country way more than they are willing to die for their countries. Unlike Liberia, where the citizens keep asking, "What is Liberia doing for me?" And then you call America your role model, and you have an American president who said, "Ask now what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." You know, well, we Liberians we are lacking that. We don't love the country. Liberians don't love the country. I gotta be honest with that. Liberians don't love the country. We're seeing small changes because we're seeing Liberians now who have traveled, who are doing businesses here. You know, things are changing. They are buying lands, building houses, opening businesses. But it wasn't like that before. And I actually let us say that that's good for us. But it wasn't like that before. Before, Liberians don't care. They travel, they buy a house in the States, they buy a house in Germany, America. Yeah, they just live the whole life there, and then after retirement age, they come back to Liberia with absolutely nothing. We have to prioritize our land. This is the only country we have. If we don't love our country, nobody is going to love our country for us. If you don't put your country first, nobody is going to put your country first. When you see today the Nigerians are being caught all around the world, when you see today the Nigerian big game, everybody can speak it. It's actually because the Nigerians put themselves first. Like in Liberia here, you will see a cool girl telling you, "I cool, but I can't speak it. I'm a nigga, I can't speak it. I give, I can't speak it." Then even in Kolokwa, the moment we travel, We don't even want to for people to identify our Kolokwa. All of these things are affecting us. So I think we need to do more as a country. We need to highlight ourselves on being more patriotic and more pragmatic when it comes to engaging our country. Um, Honestly, on the note of um cleanliness and a little bit civilization, small. But when it comes to like loving this land that made you, loving this land, you know, that gave you birth, Liberians are far behind. Liberians are far behind. So, well, since we are here when we are many, I'll let for other people to touch certain places, and then we can keep the conversation going. So, on that note, I would like to say, thank you for the opportunity once again. I will stop there
All right,
for now.
Mr. Connor, thank you very much. I was waiting for you to say that. So yeah, that's it. Marwan, welcome in. Mohammed Dougle Asker, welcome in. So right away, the topic of discussion today is the Liberian mentality, and the question is, what do you understand the Liberian mentality to be, and what impact has it has on the Liberian people, and what do you think we can do to improve and develop the Liberian mentality? Asker Mohammed, you can go ahead because you were here before Mr. Marwan Kaba. So after you, then Marwan will follow suit.
Okay. Hey, how you doing? My name is Mohammed Dokwe Askia. Thank you for the opportunity again today. Um, we are going to talk about our beautiful country, Liberia, which I really love dearly from my heart. I love that country so much. It's the only country I cannot be deported from. It's the only country I can never ever be deported from. No matter where I go, that's my country. Okay. The topic on the discussion today, it is very, very important. And I know that all of us here have experienced that mentality in Liberia, being present or being absent. Because I would speak from the people that already out of the country, that mentality as well as a Liberian, and then even when you living in Liberia, the mentality. So most of the time, by majority, we as a Liberian, when we have that opportunity that we have traveled out, and then to say, okay, now I'm traveling out. This is what I need to do. This is what I need to do to help my country back. All right. We have this mentality that when we find ourselves, even in Ghana, even in Nigeria, we decide to show that different now, that I am better than the other Liberian that live in actual Liberia. That's our mentality. They're always gonna see themselves in a better position than the one that living in the country. You just went Ghana or Nigeria. You trying to make yourself so special compared to the people that living in the country. You were just there. Let's say you went to Ghana or Nigeria, you want to go to educate yourself and everything. And then yet all the education we acquire when we go out, we say don't put it into use. That mentality. This is not about government. Sometimes we put things on the government, be like, oh, the government is corrupt. The government is weak. The system is this. The system is that. For me, somebody would say that, but I would disagree with putting the blame on the government of our mentality, because this is like your home. This is like your house. If you don't take care of your house, who do you expect to take care of the place? Our mentality. Our farmer say here, and I have talked to friends of mine that we all travel from back home. And I always say to them that no matter what, no matter how long I stay here, no matter what I acquire, I always have that dream that I want to go back home Liberia. You know what? This my friend will get mad at me for making statement like that. And this is what he say. You stupid. I'm sorry to use that. Something wrong with you. What are you going to do in Liberia? God finish blessing you. You leave from like you left from Liberia. You come to the United States. Then you want to go back there? Why are you going to do that? This is the Liberian mentality. If you don't go by where you're coming from, you never know where you're going. Ain't nobody gonna go develop our country. We can get all the funding from people, NGO, country, donations. It's never going to solve our problem when we ourselves as Liberian not willing to change our mindset. The mindset is the most important thing. You can develop Liberia today. You can furniture every places. You can put street light. You can put this. You can put that. Once our mentalities is very very terrible, it's just matter of time. It's just matter of time. It's in Liberia. You will see they put a street light for development, and the light will come out for a day or two. You find people going there to destroy that street light. Do you want to put that responsibility on the president again or the government? People want to put the blame on the government. People want to blame. They want to put the blame on the civil war. People want to put blame on politicians. You can put some blame on the politician, the government, and the civil war. But at the end of the day, what are you doing for your country? What are you giving back to your country? You're not giving back anything other than excuses. If it's not excuses, somebody on the internet calls him somebody father, somebody mother in the name of politics. Liberal mentality. Somebody grad from high school went to University of Liberia. The only thing you have to do is to go on the internet and just insult a leader that he thinks he can get something from out of it, all popularity. I don't know. I don't know why we do that. I don't know who tell us say by attacking our leaders. Yeah, it's good to attack a leader in a good way, but you cannot insult someone that can burn you. That's how we attack our leader, our politician, cursing our mother, cursing our father, their family. The mentality we have in Liberia, I pray that I really pray that this generation can make a change about that. Because for all the time I live in Liberia, absent and present, it doesn't make any change. It doesn't make any difference. Even when I went back just a couple of months ago, I was hoping to say something good. That I went, this is what I saw. I'm proud of this. I'm so ashamed to say that I didn't see anything that I was proud of. This is what happened. How can you be a Liberian? You flew to your country. By the time you get to the airport, you feel so discouraged. Very discouraged. This is where you're supposed to be happy. This is where you're supposed to be celebrating. This is where you're supposed to be like, wow, my country. Bro, when I get back to Liberia a few months ago, the immigrations hold us, take our passport from us. They're not even looking at your name. They're not even looking at your face. They're basically asking you for money. When you have more than 50% standing on the line, the document is okay 100%. There's nothing to worry about. Immigration officers taking passport from you and asking you to give money before you can get out from the airport to go get your things. You stand over the other people tired after spending like 20 hours, 15 hours on a flight. You're supposed to be leaving that place at least 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then you're going to be in the airport for at least an hours or above an hours. What are we doing that? We keep putting blame on the government, the past government, the present, even the future to come. The presidents can always do that part by putting you in that position, put this person in the position. It's up to you not to make a change. How many of us are making that change in Liberia today? We have a saying, it's our time. We have a saying, it's our time. When another government come to power, they have that slogan, that our time to eat. And in fact, most of the other permanent people that you don't really expect to make that kind of statement, they will even go as far on radio station or even social media that they have more than 5,000 followers telling them this is our time to eat. When labro become elephant meat? When? 5 million people. 5 million people. We cannot even compare ourselves with Sierra Leone. You can tell me Sierra Leone never experienced civil war. They experienced civil war as well. If you compare the two countries, labro will be very terrible. There's no list in the world today. Labro will not be on the bottom. Anything you think about, they're always at the bottom. They're not even in the middle. Anything that you think about. Maybe the one that can win is the most corrupt country in the world. Maybe they can win that. We corrupt. We have no respect. We have no dignity. We just living life in that country to say, no here, no tay. We have to hold ourselves responsible too, brother. We have to hold ourselves responsible in certain things. I know the government have to put system in place. Sometimes we say when the system fail us, all the things that we think about it will crash down. But this is not a system. This is real life. We're talking about real life, real experience. We have brought so much embarrassment to our country that I can't even count. I can't even think about it. So much embarrassment we have brought to ourselves in that country. The mentality Liberians have, if we don't change it, this generation don't change it, the next generation cannot change it. They cannot change it. They have to see that example that somebody tried. That somebody tried. We have the mentality. My one right now, not many people will know my one today, but let's say God bless him tomorrow. We, the Liberian, now will say that man a criminal. That man stole the money. That man stole. That man did it to become rich. He did that. He did this. He did that. False allegation on innocent person. I'm not saying there's not people who can do things, but we always have that mentality with no research, no check and balance, nothing. We can just put allegation. Oh, Kalu, that guy that working NPRC, he's a criminal. What's the evidence do you have? He says something. Kalu says something that when you don't push your brother up today to become better, Somebody else pushing that brother to become better. If you trying to bring your brother down, somebody's trying to carry that brother up. Vast majority of Liberian mentality is to bring that brother down. Is to bring that brothers down. That's our mentality. We care less. We are jealous. We envious. We desperate. And we don't even care. Now, bro, man, I care. Oh. I ain't seeing nobody in the world not care. That careless than Liberian man. Hey, Liberian man, not care. Oh my gosh. They not even get a shin fit. We not even let me include myself. We not even get shin fit. Yeah, we not get shin fit. When I see Liberians 40 years old, 45 years old on social media, they're respecting themselves, cursing, going live. You live in America for 20 years. You still going live, talking some nonsense that doesn't make any sense about your country, attacking people that you're not supposed to attack. We are not giving back to our country. We are not doing anything. So thank you for the opportunity, brother. I will hope I will wait over there and then we'll go to the next person. Thank you.
Wow, that was very powerful. Yeah, Brother Marwan Kabat, just unmute yourself right away and jump into it. Unless you need me to lay out the question once more, but if you don't, then you can just take it on from there.
Yeah, yeah, I can take it out from here. So, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depends on where you are in media land. When it comes to our topic about the Liberian mentality, it is something very broad. This identical discussion is broad like biology. They have different branches to be discussed. But anyway, quickly, Liberia herself as a nation, Liberia has different kind of people. All those that are found within the perimeter of the land called Liberia today, we have this one thing that make us different from every other Africans. And I don't know how we got it or where we got it from. But the first thing about us Liberians is that we hate accountability. The majority of us, we hate accountability. We hate to give an account for what was entrusted to us. So you'll find many people in the diaspora, Liberians in the diaspora, complaining about their fellow Liberians that are back here, whom they have trusted to at least help them with a project. Like, and since you are on the ground, I need you to help me, supervise my project. I wish to do so, so, and so. And I entrust you to carry such project, and all of a sudden, I will be duped by the fellow Liberian on the ground there, who I hope and think that he will seek my interest and at least help me supervise whatever project I intend to execute. And not to go further, Oscar, you are aware, Swallow do you are aware what happened right before us there. I don't want to call name, but just opposite your house, we saw what happened there about a guy who duped his own big brother. Instead of building him what he expected, he went and built some makeshift house. And we used to provoke him and call him all sort of names. I think you remember, right? I mean, and these are things that a lot of Liberians in the diaspora would can attest to. Just an example of who we are. We hate accountability. We are proven to be not trustworthy. And all these things derive from the smallest unit and the most important unit of a society, which is the family. Now, we all complain about corruption in the country. We accuse our leaders, we accuse our lawmakers, we accuse public officials, and all that. But the truth to the matter here is we ourselves, as individuals, in our various homes, as family, we are corrupt. We are corrupt to the very core. We have lost our moral compass. So, in terms of moral, Liberia is morally off. From the smallest unit of the family to the biggest, we are off. Now, let me give you a few examples. Let's start with the family first. You have this father and the mother, along with their children, one happy family, right? And all of a sudden, this father, whatever he earns, he is now hiding from the family. At times, he will intentionally allow his children to go through some things whereby he can afford it, but he chooses his pleasure over securing the family future. So, to that extent, you will find children and mother going aside and having difficulties. Then you will find the children more aligning to their mothers instead of both parents. And before you know it, they will now see the mother as the sacrificial one and their father as the don't care one. These are common scenarios now in Liberia, which have led to the generalization of men are now good in the Liberian term. Now, women have to play both roles. Some women have to play both roles in their family because the father is more concerned about his pleasure. He is not concerned about keeping the family together. Are we there? Okay. His primary concern is his pleasure, and he will pinch whatever token he receives. He will take a very little amount and just dash it on the woman and be like, "Now what I get for you and your children now." That's one. Second example, we don't reprimand or we don't discipline our children. We allow them to have their will, whether good or bad. And allowing your kids to have their will, whether good or bad, prepare them for such a society that we have today. Because he who fails to prepare, you are prepared to fail. And that's where we are right now as a nation. That's right where we are right now as a nation. The majority of us Liberians, we are not able to see truth and speak truth. As long as it goes against me, I'm against it. It can be true and crystal clear as daylight. I will go against it because it is going against me. But if it is against, let's say, my opponent or the opposing faction to me, I'm okay with it. Whether it's true or not, I'm okay with it. And this is so sad. Like in the case of the suspended minister at Youth and Sport, you raped a young girl. The law is to hold you accountable for it. But now we are lagging behind. We are pampering him. I mean, our top security authorities are pampering him like they don't have sufficient evidence and blah, 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 trying to speak English to us, trying to use terms. These are all the definition of the Liberian mentality at the highest speed. Imagine, we don't stand for truth. We don't stand to be accountable. Our moral compass is off. We see wrong and we yet still go there. Let's come to the traffic. You have motorcyclists, you have cab drivers, bus drivers, truck drivers, etc. They all, one way or the other, we have friends who are in the field. At times we can be riding along with them, and then we hear them deliberately planning to violate. And they will say, "Hey, they will violate. America will rise up." These are common scenarios in our country. Accountability. We are not accountable for anything. And just like Oscar said, we are careless, very careless. Things that we should hold dear to us means nothing. Nothing is serious in this country. Nothing. I mean, we just look around. And I like the example that Oscar said. He didn't go to Japan or Germany in terms of war affected countries. He came right nearby us, Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone and Liberia had war around the same period. We experienced war around the same period, even though ours was longer than theirs, but yet still, they are thriving, they are trying to go somewhere. They have an agenda. Liberia, where are we? As a people, let's forget about government for now. As a people, where are we? How are we thinking? Well, Africa has money today, or the way Africa is have been fortunate to travel to the States. Now, if Africa is my older brother, I will lay back and say, my brother, you up there. And I will not do anything, but I'll be waiting for him to struggle and get his little earnings and share with me down here. And the day he does not send me a share for which I have no obligation to, it becomes problem. I start to bomb up Oscar. Oh, Oscar is not good. I'm a selfish man. I'm a wicked man. I wish I would get a family. I didn't want to step on a friend and love so that I can be up there. These are normal things that we see daily. These are normal things that we observe daily. I mean, we don't think. We are not innovative. We are not ambitious. We just lagging behind. And guess what? Almost every Liberian who seems to be a little bit intelligent are looking for government office. So what they do? They use their smartphones and the student companion plus the lexicon or the dictionary. They study words, they study adjectives to be precise. They study group of adjectives to use in words against public public officials in the interest of whoever they are supporting politically. In return, they get that late $10 and $20 or $30 and $40 to tap up and buy data and what have you. So they are now known as propagandists. The moment you say, oh, this person is terrible, don't make mistake to be a popular person and you comment about somebody bad behavior. The next thing you know, you have an army of media puppets attacking you. That man is down to earth. The man is humble. That person is humble. That person is kind. That information is misleading. It's far from the truth. For any investigation, they are ready to debunk every word you say. We don't follow facts. We don't follow truth. And just like Oscar said again, we accuse people based on rumors, based on emotion, based on I just feel saying it. And these are common things that we say. People, man, I'm in a row. I'm not working government. I'm in store. No evidence. They just tarnish your reputation within few seconds. You're done. They're ready to bomb off you. And the sad thing about it is that we are not even thinking of what we can do as an individual. How can we help ourselves to help our nation grow? That's not our focus. Right now, if there's an opportunity for, let's say, one or two planes to just land at RA and say, we are taking people free, the whole country, within 1 hour time, the whole country will be at RA. The whole country will be at RA. You know why? We don't know how to struggle and how to build ourselves. But we prefer other people struggle, build themselves, then we go there and enjoy the fruit of their labor. Amen, Liberian people. Amen, brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers, Liberians. I'm speaking to every one of us. This is not fine for us at all. This mindset we have is not good for us at all. We can copy a lot of things for other people, but we don't copy the good things. We only copy the bad things. Right now, you'll find Liberians on social media platform embarrassing themselves, embarrassing our nation in the name of fighting for somebody politically. And the easiest way to be popular in Liberia, grab one popular government official, Ransom has counted against you. Either you blackmail him or something and just you cursing. If you don't have anything to say, just abuse. Just abuse the living soul out of the person on social media. And trust me, within the next 1 week, you'll be the hottest Liberian. Your fan base will grow because we love to see bad things. We encourage bad things. And these bad things are just embedded in us. We need to uproot these bad things. Common example. Let's go to UL, the University of Liberia. This is one thing that I've always had serious issue with, especially the student government, the student politics on the campus there. Now, my point here is you can't be accusing people of doing the wrong thing when you yourself, you are in the wrong. All your means of organizing yourself is to just inflict problem on people. They know how to sing the song. They know how to put people in a circle. They know how to use words, but they don't know how to suggest. They don't know how to suggest proper solutions. They don't know how to show themselves as the better example. They don't know how to show themselves as being better than those who they are criticizing. And the sad part here is that our leadership can only listen to you when you make noise, when you burn tire. That's the time they will come back to you and start to encourage you now to sit along with them to have what 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 we can call dialogue. Then they will be like, no, gentlemen, we are putting mechanism into place. Just know there's nothing being put into place. The moment you hear that word, we are putting mechanism into place, there is nothing being put into place. These are just word plays, just come to situation. And our people are hard to listen. So in return, they force our student politics on UL campus. They force them into violence because these guys will do their best to write communication, do follow-ups about 3, 4, 5 times, and they will have no response. Except they take to the street or except they go around disrupting classes. That's the only time they will get redress. Hey man, are we not civilized enough? Are we not able to understand when people say, oh, we have problem here, except they make noise, except they cause some kind of problem that will just spoil our name again? Is that the only time our people can listen to what is happening? Are we tortoise? We're gonna put fire on our back for people to put our head outside and see what happening? This is terrible. This is bad for us. But however, if we indeed are truthful to ourselves, we can get out of this mindset. There are nations that were deranged, worse than this, and today they are better. We can do the same. Liberia, we can do the same. Henceforth, my recommendation to snap out of this mindset, to snap out of this laziness, is to be ambitious. And when I say ambitious, not to be envious. These are two different things. These are two different words. I mean, two different things. Want the good for yourself and at the same time want the good for others. If you cannot achieve it, but you're able to help somebody else achieve it, do it. Let's put ourselves together and start being accountable fresh. Let's learn to be accountable. Let's learn to take the blame. Let's learn to take responsibility. Let's learn to accept what is right and what is wrong. Let's learn to accept our fault and let's learn to embrace our good. We are all humans. We can change. We are subject to change. And that's the only thing that is constant, which is change. But let's change for the better. Let's change positively. And I believe with that, we can go somewhere. Let's try to look forward and stop putting our burdens on other people and stop blaming other people for our misfortune. We are not meant to be stagnant. No, we are meant to grow. And in that
Right.
growth, we must accept challenges. Challenges will come our way. So let me pause there for now and let you run through.
Wonderful, wonderful. That is great. Um, yeah, man. The Liberian mentality is it's a it's a it's a it's a it's a wonderful phenomenon. It's something that almost you can't compare it to almost anything. But yeah, we are definitely going to revisit this particular topic again. But anytime when somebody mentioned the Liberian mentality, the first two things that come to my mind is number one is you know, lack of patriotism. Somebody being very, very lack of patriotism, you know. And number two is lack of self-awareness. Like somebody that is really have absolutely no knowledge of what is going on in the surrounding, except for the little community that we call Liberia. Other than that, all the other things that are happening in other countries, they are not aware of any of those things, and they don't care. So this is where the mentality come from. And it make you feel like you really don't have anything to accomplish. You don't have anything to achieve. You don't have no competition. When in fact, there are a lot of competitions, going on. There are countries competing with one another. Literally, right? Um, Sorry. There are countries competing with one another, not like in a negative way, but in a positive way, in a progressive way, in a developing way. You see that, countries like Ghana and Nigeria will be competing in the line of education, like which country has the best, how they call it, education curriculum, stuff like that. But we don't really get into
Mhm.
that kind of conversation because we don't even know about these things. We don't even care about what is going on in Nigeria or in Ghana or how their education system are. If we really know about them, if we really care about them, all of a sudden, guess what? Once you know that, this guy is right here, you know the guy and you know that the guy is way up there, when it comes to talent, skill, achievement, all of a sudden it's not like you don't have to hate the person, but you'll be somewhat positively jealous of being like the person or trying to accumulate some of the tendencies, some of the behavior, some of the characteristic of that person, so that you yourself you can be that much successful. So I just feel like that is just the underlining, you know, um, uh, definition and statement and understanding of what the Liberian mentality is. It's that of the mentality that, yeah, I don't give a damn about what is going on so and so place. This is where I'm from. That all I care about. A lot of people in Liberia don't even leave Montserrat. We hardly even leave Montserrat. Like there are people just like what Khalil said earlier. There are people that say, "Oh, I'm global, but I can't speak global." In other countries, in other
About
African countries, that is
about
a
plenty.
shame. In other African countries, that is a shame. That is it's a disgrace. You know, if you come to Ghana and you say you don't speak the dialect, like bro, you're gonna suffer as much. They will force you to speak the dialect. One of the dialect you gotta speak. The same thing with Guinea. The same thing with Africa. Like it doesn't matter where you go. There has to be some type of African language that you're gonna have to reconcile with. But in Liberia, when you speak your dialect in public, people will look at you as if you are, like you are backward, you are primitive. That's the word they use. Like what kind of way back man? So they want to come in, how they call it, the man say speaking dialect. Yeah, man, move from the man with that plenty dialect speaking dialect, and like the mentality is just different from all other places. Other countries in Africa, they are waking up. As a matter of fact, when you go to East Africa places like Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, they are already teaching their dialect in the classes, like from ABC all the way to sixth grade. You're not learning English. All your education you're doing in Tanzania is in Swahili, right? English is coming secondary. You have to master the language, talking about writing, reading, WhatsApp, all their news, everything is given in their dialect, right? You go to Africa, they chose one major dialect in Africa that everybody forced to learn how to speak. And that dialect, they call it Jula, but it's Mandingo. If you're a Mandingo guy, you go to Africa, Everything they put and say, you can hear everything they say because the dialect they choose down there for everybody to communicate in easily. It's Matingo. You come to Ghana, they choose Chui, right? Everywhere you go, everybody speaks Chui. They choose just one of the largest dialect, everybody speaking it. You go in Guinea, you go to the capital city, they choose Susu in the capital city. Everybody speaks Susu in the capital city. But other places you go, it depends on which part of the country you are. You know, you will have to. So you will see a Guinea guy who is a Susu guy, but he can speak Susu, he can speak Madigo, he can speak Fula. He might speak even three other more or two multiple other, you know, how to call it languages like Pele and Gizi and Loma. One guy. You know, this is why it's so confusing, but it's very, very important, right? You cannot be in Africa, you have never gone to America, but whole day, every day, you are proud to be the child of America. We are America's stepchild. You know, I hate that sentiment more than anything. We are America's stepchild. Man, what does that even mean? You're trying to put some sort of stuff on your shoulder that you're not able to live for. Like we are not America's step nothing. You understand what I'm saying? There are about 30 to 40,000 people that came from abroad as slave, I mean free slaves to Liberia that established the country of Liberia. But there were people already living there. What's about those people? You're just gonna give our entire history to America's stepchild. Do you understand? Even in our culture, in our tradition, in our society, stepchild. That is a child that you born outside of wedlock. Do you know what? Like, come on, man. We say things and we don't even try to really dig deep as to like how embarrassing or offensive or curse worthy of that statement or sentiment might be. We just go ahead and just adapt it anyway. This is why easily you can see during 1997 election, you saw people on the street jumping up and down talking about Chancellor, you came a man, you came a power, still vote for you. These are the same mentality, right? Just earlier, was it 2017? 2017 campaign during the election. You saw people on the street talking about we want Kush, we want Kush. This is it only happens in Liberia. It don't happen anywhere. You will never see anywhere on the face of the planet, especially in this 21st century, where you will see a bunch of people on the street talking about we want Kush, we want Kush. That is crazy. Like, I don't care what is the reason. Kush is one of the most illicit, deadly drugs in the West African coast today. You know, people are struggling to get rid of it. Why you guys are on the street singing that this is the thing we want? Like, what thing would enthuse or encourage or motivate somebody to say something so crazy like that? Right? But again, these are all examples. These are all symptoms and you know, how do you call it? Man, these are all the examples, the reasons, or all the remnants of, you know, the Liberian mentality. And without no further ado, you know, I just say that the Liberian mentality is a disease, is a virus. It has held us behind for almost 2 centuries now. We are the oldest country in Africa, but yet one of the least developed country in Africa. And when I say develop, I'm not talking about skyscrapers. I'm talking about mental development mostly, right? You know,
resource capacity.
right. So these things, one of our biggest problems, that is it, the Liberian mentality. And like I say, the reason for the Liberian mentality, number one, is the lack of going outside and knowing about, sometimes you don't even have to go outside. You'll be aware of what is going on outside, around the world. The lack of awareness of we, the Liberian people, of what is going on around the world is one of the main causes of the Liberian mentality. The other one is the lack of patriotism. The fact that we are not patriotic enough, the fact that we are not nationalistic enough. You know, you will go to some countries, like I said, two people will be colluding to try to do some type of corrupt activity or whatever, and one person will come and try to call them out. In fact, try to record them and post it online. This is patriotism. He or she is not getting nothing out of that deal. The only thing he or she is getting out of it is that the long calculation that they think you are doing here, so it will affect our country in the long run. If people get used to that kind of behavior, we will not go nowhere. If everybody just keep colluding, corrupting, doing all that kind of bribery, accepting bribery, whatever, we will not go nowhere. So that person is not just thinking about themselves, they are thinking about their children's children, people that are going to come after them. And this is how you build a country. A country like Norway, way far ahead of us, right? according to their, you know, economic records or the way they save their money, they are saving like 97% of their income, their yearly income, right? Their yearly revenue, they save like 97 to 98% of it saving. They are spending only 2% to feed and take care of the country, like pay the workers and all these things. The remaining 98%, they keep saving it. And why? Somebody will say, why would you be saving that kind of humongous amount of money? You just saving, saving, saving. Like, how long are you? They're gonna say, they don't know what the future is gonna hold. So they have set up the system in a way that where only 2% of their income that they will use to keep the entire country electrified, everybody keep working. Even people who don't have a work, they gave them welfare, free food, and some small amount of money, to take care of themselves until they can go back to work. All that comes from the 2%. Of course, this is an already established, civilized, society, and they went through a lot of ups and downs to get where they are. But I'm saying that it is achievable. It can definitely happen. But it starts here. It starts here. And I know that it's very, very difficult for you to tell somebody, oh, be patriotic. Oh, open your mind when the person's stomach is empty. It's very, very hard. But guess what? We have come a long way and we are here now. We are already here. And the first thing we should do is literally get rid of that Liberian mentality. I said here earlier, there is a song that So Fresh put out. They call it a song. I don't know the name of the song, but one of the rhymes is like, or the main rhymes of the song is that they get three type of men in the whole world, and white men, African men,
I
men.
remember that song.
If you listen to that song, I don't agree necessarily with what he's saying about a white man, but about a Liberian man, I agree 1,000%. Everything he says about the Liberian man in our song is very, very clear. And this is it's a mentality we gotta get rid of. If we don't get rid of it, we are in a deep sea of trouble. No matter what type of development, like mental development is everything. To F with the skyscrapers, to F with the trains and the planes and all these things. Once the mental state is developed, well developed, up to date, bro, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. You will walk on the street, you see policemen trying to bribe or trying to take money from a cab driver. You put your phone outside and say, Mama, you give that money back. Give that money back right now. Give it back. You are making an example. And imagine you do that and everybody is doing that. Everybody do that in the country. Like no matter where you go, everybody say no to bribery, no to corruption, no to all these things we know that it is very, very, dangerous and detrimental to the society. That is patriotism, but we have choose partisanship over patriotism. And this is one of the main symptoms, one of the main cause of the Liberian mentality. So yeah, we have come down to the ending part of the show, and I will let you guys to go on with your closing statements. We'll start from Aska, and then to Marwan, and then to Kalilu, and then we'll call it a night. So yeah, Aska, with no further ado, what is your closing statement for today's program?
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity again. Um, I would just have to tell us as Liberian, they say too often we believe solution will come from abroad. And
Mm-hmm.
yet we have brighter mind, young people in Liberia, skills and professional and entrepreneurial people. If the mindset of Liberians always like that, to say abroad, abroad, somebody gotta come from abroad, it's gonna be hard for us. The answer should move from outside to be we can do it right here. Like we can do it right here as Liberian. We need to start begging too much. We need to start begging too much. I know there's so much brighter Liberian over there. Go mindset Liberian, go students, go professional, go entrepreneurs. They are out there. We are wrong. We can make Labora a better place with the support of other Liberians. It's gonna be hard. You know, in Liberia, as a Liberian, I struggle. I bought a land. I built my shop. I put goose inside there and say I'm trying to help out my community. Guess what happened? Should I say it's foreigner? Or some let me say somebody from S country. I don't want to call name. But somebody from S country will come do the same thing. Wallahi, my people will not come to my shop. They will leave your shop and go to the person from another country and go buy goose over there. What difference does it make if a Liberian is giving back to your own people? All you need to do is just support. Just go and buy whatever you're supposed to buy. In fact, if this is the shop, they will pass the other way. For you to they, they will pass the other way so you can see them. They will go to the other store or that shop and go buy whatever they want to buy.
I can credit for you on the book.
And they can't credit from you when it broke. they, that's the typical Liberian mindset we have. It's not like it's not like there's no entrepreneurs in Liberia. It's not like there's no young people. There's no people that in Liberia they are trying to do better. People trying. People trying. Well, like some young men are trying to get our businesses, but we're not supporting it. We will go support somebody else's business than supporting our own brothers and sister businesses. For some reason, we
Right.
just don't believe. We just don't believe in ourselves. I don't know why. In Liberia, something that was made in Liberia, it have value compared to any other things. The fact that this thing came from abroad, brother. Whatever you spend on your goods or whatever you spend on that thing, Liberia man don't give a damn about it. They will get in the car to transport themselves. You selling with that price, maybe $50. They will double the price they sell it into the other side, maybe $60, $70. And the transportation to go there, it costs them $50 to go and come back. They will spend 150 on that same thing, and you won't have value more than that, only because a bro attached to it. Or it came from somewhere like Ghana or Nigeria or whatever you think about.
Right.
Library mindset. That's that's a typical thing. I don't see the I don't know what is the logic in that. What is the reasoning in that we doing it? I really don't know. It all go down like bro man is not care. That's it. We just don't care at all. We envious. We too mean. We too greedy. We too jealous. We don't support each other. But I'll conclude on this. There's some good Liberian out there. There's some young people out there. They trying. They putting Liberian on a map. And I would say thank you to you guys. I salute you. Not everybody's seeing it right now, but people are watching. You're that trying to put Liberian on a map. All of us are trying to put Liberian on a map. I salute you. And this is my last word. Liberia is the only country that I can never be deported from. I love Liberia. Good night.
Wow. I mean, Marwan, good luck to to following up that one there. I'm smart. I wanna know. I feel every word, bro. I'm telling you, that was very, very powerful. Go ahead, Marwan Kabak. Go ahead. What's up?
Okay, okay. So Liberians and other national in media land, I'd like to say once more thank you for watching and commenting and sharing. Hope to catch you again next week, Wednesday, on another topic. But this topic of the Liberian mentality will, will have to continue because it is not something to just touch on at one time. And I pray the host brings it back again. But however, like my colleague panelists just said, when it comes to good Liberians, there are good Liberians in Liberia who are doing well. And like to call some of their names, like for life Zoe. The guy is doing very well. I really admire him. He is a young Liberian guy, and he is into vocational training. He trains. He have trained lots of Liberian, and is still training lots of Liberian. And the good thing about it is that he keeps upgrading. He keeps upgrading, and I'm so proud of him. He has various training points dotted across Montserrat for now, and he's doing well. And his name is Vani, but he's commonly known as For Life Zoe. Let me say it in the Marco way, For Life Zoe. It's For Life Zoe. And there are other Liberians also who are entrepreneurs. Some of them are into agriculture business, like the agri market. They are located in Jacobstown by Town Bakery there. They are also doing well. They are into agriculture consultancy and all that. And I admire people like that. They have good mindsets. And there are so many Nigerians who are doing well, who are not part of the majority that we just talked about tonight, and they are doing well. And I just like to encourage them to do well and encourage you that are watching also. If you don't have anything to aspire to, trust me, you can go online, you can search, you can do your research. I mean, just ask, just put in the questions. Like for example, you can say, what does Liberia has that needs to be out there? Or how can I be creative? Then you can pick your own topic and do your research, and you will find something to do. But like we said, I don't want to dwell too much on the negatives of the Liberian mindset, but I would rather like to speak to the truth within every Liberian watching tonight, that no matter what happens, that laziness must be overcome. And I believe in you. I believe in every single Liberian that they can overcome that laziness and try to be ambitious. And being ambitious is wanting to do something better, beginning with what you have, whatever profession you find yourself in, if even you're a Shushan boy or a Yanda boy, you just name it. There are so many potentials that we overlook, and we don't think that something good can come out of it. But I want you to know that it's not true. If you are selling your little jollof rice and whatever, you can turn that jollof rice business into a brand. There are so many printing press right now. You can start by just customizing your own plastic bags. You can start by buying phone plates or takeaway plates and have a custom printed with your brand name on it. That's how you can grow into a food chain. The McDonald's, the KFC, they all started small, then they all started big, they started small. And food business is one of the businesses that has no bad day. No matter what happens, people must eat. As long as there's stability, even in terms of war, people must eat. So if you are into the food business, don't just see it as a mere hustle. Try to be innovative, brand yourself, and you can do better with whatever profession you find yourself in. If you're a school teacher, improve yourself, improve your skills, acquire more knowledge, share more, and you'll be better, and then you'll see the best will come out of you. We all have that potential. We just need that motivation to awaken us up so that we can get from this poor Liberian mindset and get to the better Liberian mindset. Until next week, have a beautiful day, have a beautiful night, have a beautiful afternoon. Thank you.
Wow. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for those powerful words. Mr. Kone, are you there? Mr. Kone, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, all right. Yeah, just close it for honor. You're the last but not the least. Absolutely.
The many champion in
Oh
closing.
yeah.
You're
I think I will bet. Uh, Considering my once closing statement, I will bet that he's a better eater. You know, well, for his statement again, you know that the guy doesn't want food to get short in the market, so he's encouraging more people to go into the food industry. Which of course I like. I personally will also like my wife to become one of the graduate of the one of these catering stuff because I like food too. I like food. So yeah, um, it's a pleasure again. Once again, we just let to tell the young people in Liberia. We are doing this for every one of us. I myself as a Liberian, I think I have my own problem, and I've tried my best to work on them. One thing I like for us to realize is nobody's perfect, but
Mm-hmm.
perfection is always my definition of perfection. I mean, is a kind of something different that I don't know whether the general public will accept that. I see imperfection as something that God made you. That for instance, if I was born and I can stutter, or I talk too fast, or I talk too slow, if it is something that I actually can work on, then I count it as imperfection. But if it is something that I study, I calculated, I premeditated, I think about it twice, and then I do it, and if it doesn't work and I call it imperfection, it is actual like literally call it mistake instead of imperfection. So we are not perfect. We are not that smart because we make stupid decisions sometimes. Sorry for my word, but everything comes down to realizing, yeah, I make a decision that wasn't good, so I need to make it better next time. So Liberians, let's wake up. Let's understand that the 14 years civil war. Right now we are a post-war country. It's been long, almost like we are pushing 30 years now. There's nowhere in Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere good. I think 30 years already, right? No, no, not even 30 years because
Almost,
2003.
almost, almost.
22 years, 22 years. Let's go
Yeah,
ahead.
22 years. So 8 more years to 30 years. So we can still keep hanging on one story. Oh, we went through war. We know war. Separated families, change our lifestyle. And I mean, when you check in our surrounding, we are far different, bro. Every time what Liberia is different. Everything. The respect for elders, the respect for one another, the respect for mothers, the respect for big brothers, the respect for big sisters. I mean, culturally and morally, we are yet stay behind. So it is not too late. We've always have to think twice and think about the better things that we can do to make sure the good image of our country go up there. My big brother went to Botswana one time. One of my big brother, he said, the place you can know Liberian from is noise. So when you enter the people airport, the moment they see Liberians, they know they recognize Liberians from the north Liberians make. And that is actually because that's how we grew up. That's our lifestyle. We can't change for anybody. We are friendly people. No, we are good people. We help each other. But when it comes to patriotism, when it comes to true compassion, when it comes to business, we lacking these things. When it comes to politics, no respect. We don't attack issues the way we should attack them. Instead, we just decide to like Oscar was saying, just look at somebody who can born you, your mom equal, your dad equal. It just started like Allah. Yo,
Let me
bro.
see.
So
Let me
that's the
see you.
that's the mentality.
Don't tell me that see you.
Mr. Corey, just off your camera. Just off your camera. It will be nice. Just
Let me
off
see
the
you.
camera.
Let me see.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now
Mama,
it's very
Mama, what's going on comes around.
Whoa. So Mawa, I know Mawa has reduced his goal. Man, it's 1-1 now.
One.
So it is, yeah. So that's it, bro. We
Yeah, my
know we
bro.
are not perfect. Everything we're seeing here, we don't know all. We are not perfect. We are part of the problem. We are working towards it.
Mm-hmm.
I personally tell people the bad things I do. I know I can never tell any of my friend to do it. If I'm doing something I know it is bad, I'm not going to tell you to do it. And that's because I have conscience. I know I'm already doing it. It's wrong. I shouldn't be telling you to follow my footstep. A lot of people will find pleasure in encouraging others to do what they do because they feel it
Mm-hmm.
give them it give them that level of confidence. You know that yes, I gotta continue doing it. I'm heading people into this. Once I'm doing something once I'm doing something bad, I tell you my one it will just go for 1 minute. Once I'm doing something bad, I know it is actually bad. I will tell if I'm doing something bad. If I'm supposed to tell Oscar, yeah, do it, I'll tell you, don't do it. It is bad. But if you see me doing it, that's me. You don't have to imitate me. So let's know that we can take America as our role model. We can take Ukraine. We can take China. I will literally ask Liberians to take most to look at Asia right now because Asia is on the right path. When you go to when you read about Japan, you understand that the Japanese they have a very nice lifestyle. That's why I always say normally I would let to say that normally I don't really like to talk about politics, but I like to tell certain things. The government should look at countries that are doing well. When you watch the World Cup last year, 2020, 2022, 2022, the entire world was pressing Japan because Japan has a school of thought where they teach children to work for themselves, where they don't have janitors in school. They make sure the students in classroom. These are things Africans should be learning. These are things we should copy, not to copy something that
That
is
is
going to
African countries,
spoil
man.
us. Yeah, so we should copy things that it is actually beneficial to the society. Right now, you have to look at Uganda. You can look at Rwanda. Enter public schools there. A friend of mine told me if you miss public school in countries like Botswana, it means your family can actually afford another school, but public school is a priority there because everybody know that gives the best the best not the best education. But in Africa, I remember when I was in Namfre and my people told me this year it is tough. I'm going to send you to a special project, bro. I'm telling you the first trip right now. I cried that day because I didn't want to go to how they call it, government school. I felt like government school is actually
Yeah.
for the poor. No, not knowing that should even be the best school that we all should be fighting
Mm-hmm.
to go to. We should only go to private schools, you know, if the government school is already full and we have no other alternative. But in Liberia here, we have to like dodge the government school. So that's the mentality. You
It's the
go in a government
opposite.
school, understand that that's the best school you're going right now. That's the school we should be going to. You know, let's pull Liberia first. Let's pull our flag first. Let's respect Liberia. Let's push our image in a positive way. Let's stop spreading false narrative about our country. Let's stop the self-hate. When we stop hating each other in the country political wars, let's stop everything that we're doing negatively and look in a positive, direction in order for this country to grow. We have a lot. The land is rich. Botswana is paying old people, crippled people, blind people, students, university students, a tuition free just from diamond, bro. We got diamond, we got oil, we got everything. So I beg you, let's pray for this country. Let's put it ifrom. Let's work as a team, as a brother. Let's put religion and politics aside. Let's look at Liberia as the only country that, like my brother said, that can deport us, as the only country that no matter who our children are, they are going to look back and say, yeah, my dad came from a better country. That will only happen if you and myself put our hands together. We plant trees that we know we will not sit under tomorrow. We know definitely these trees will grow, but our children will grow. So we sit under them. Sometimes as a man, as a
Yeah.
Liberian, you feel weak, you feel discouraged. When you sit down, you look at your life, you want to feel weak. But when you think twice, there was a day I was down and I look at my daughter, I said, no, bro, I can't. I'm going to make it. This is forced. I can't leave my daughter here to grow to become XYZ. So we got to look at, we got to fight and look in a direction that will help our country. Let's stop the hate. So once again, I'm Kalilu El Kwane, you know, and it's a pleasure being here. Have a pleasant night, Liberians. Please, spread this message, share the life. We are going to talk about a lot of things. A young man just did something great, but we're not announcing it right now. So if we have more followers, the host, you can let me know. A young Liberian who has never been into any computer school. For the matter of fact, he just started computer school this year. He has never owned a computer, but he's doing so great. I will I will bring a story or some other day when the show go. When the show go, because we need more audience to listen to things like that, so the children can feel encouraged and going into other aspects of life instead of waiting to become politicians. So that's it. It is what it is. Good night. I love you all. I love Mama Laveria.
Wonderful, wonderful. Mr. Cornet, don't worry about it. We'll talk behind the scene, and then you will brief me about that story you're talking about. I don't think we need to get certain amount of followers before we can give, you know, uh, we can start, talking about things that need to be talked about. If that what you just said is something that is inspiring, then we should just jump on it. It might not be today, but maybe on our next program, which is due on Saturday, right? So, oh yeah, just like you said it, guys. Thank you guys for showing up again, once again. We have completed the show already. It's supposed to be a 1 hour 30 minutes. We are 1 hour 50 minutes in 20 extra minutes. Okay,
Wow.
it's not
Wow.
bad.
500.
It was a success once again. And guys, thank you guys for coming in again. Let's talk in the group and get prepared for the next one. For the family out there, the people that are watching, keep liking, sharing. Comment. Always ask questions in the comment section, and we'll always address it. We'll be coming on here, but we have not been receiving any question anyway. Just stay tuned. But anyway, it is what it is. Good night from my end, and my
It
to my
is what it
co-host.
is.
It is
It
what it is.
is what it is.
Inshallah.
uh, it will get better now. It will get better.
Inshallah, by the grace of
Inshallah.
God, man, it's just a matter of
Inshallah.
time. We
Yo,
already stepped in.
that's
I,
that's
I,
what
I,
it is.
we can talk behind the scene. I have something to say,
No,
but
I
I
I
don't
will
want
I
to.
will I will be I will be honest. I will be honest. I'm a big fan of my one for the fact that he is in the same link as mine. We are all foodies. My one, let's put that let put that ideology. Let people say more, so we don't go. Yeah, most times you wake up, you go outside, you don't even know what to eat. You see it because no food.
Oh,
I'm
you
so
said
tired of Liberian
foodish.
food now because every
Oh,
day
you said you are all foodish.
spaghetti. Nope,
Yeah, foodies,
we are
foodies.
foodies, bro.
Oh, you said
Like, man,
foolish. Oh,
The
yeah,
man folk
foolish.
one was
Oh.
food.
I'm
My one
You
was like
pronounce it
food
that
against
one.
poor.
You pronounce it
not
very
checking
bad.
otherwise.
If you
the
pronounce it
jollof
very
rice.
bad, they will think that you are using the word foolish instead of foolish. Yeah, okay.
No, I said
Foodie,
foodies.
foodies.
Foodies. FOODIES.
The
Oh
jollof
yeah,
rice.
foolish. Right. I
Oh
thought you
man,
said
so
foolish.
you mean I'll cost me my one.
Right. It is what it is, bro. Listen, man. If
Yeah.
you guys have time, we can just talk in the group right away. Right now, we can have a video call and
Yeah.
discuss.
Yeah, don't go there.
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Let's
that's
do
true.
that.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Let's do
All
that.
right,
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Let's do that right now. Let's do that.
Like, follow and subscribe.